Welcome back to Trade on Tuesdays at 2, right here on the YouTube channel, the Global Research Institute of International Trade, otherwise known as GRIIT. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarita Jackson, founder and CEO of GRIIT. This is the first episode of Trade on Tuesdays at 2 for 2026. And yes, it is a new year, and the global trade landscape continues shifting under our feet. Today, we're breaking down the trade policy issues that you need to watch this year. Let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or the USMCA, is one of those issues in which the three member countries will conduct a joint review of this particular trade deal. Now, this isn't just any meeting. It's a mandatory 6-year assessment, often called the Sunset Clause. The parties must decide whether to extend the agreement for another 16 years. And the deadline for this review is July 1st of this year. Now, by this time of July 1st, we will have a definitive answer regarding the North American trade under the USMCA. And if the United States, Mexico, and Canada do not agree to renew the USMCA, the pact will enter a cycle of annual reviews, which will lead to uncertainty. In other discussions in which we have participated, there have been talks about the possibility of the United States forming bilateral agreements with each country separately. But as I said earlier, we will see. Next up, we are looking at the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the AGOA Extension Act, or H.R. 6500, last week. The act extends duty-free access to the U.S. market through December of 2028. Additionally, the legislation includes a provision allowing importers who paid duties after the September 30, 2025 expiration date to apply for refunds. Now we're just waiting on Senate approval. And AGOA is no longer just about textiles. Our U.S.-Africa trade policy has pivoted toward critical mineral security to counter Chinese dominance in the region. The United States issued a proclamation on January 14th titled Adjusting Imports of Processed Critical Minerals. This order explicitly incorporates critical minerals into the framework of trade negotiations. And finally, we see where trade and technology continue to connect. The Remote Access Security Act, or H.R. 2683, was passed by the House of Representatives on January 12, 2026. This bill is designed to modernize the U.S. export control system, specifically addressing the issue of remote access to controlled technologies. Now, following its passage in the House, the bill was received in the Senate on January 13th and referred to the Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. This legislation aims to enhance national security by regulating remote access to controlled items, thereby closing loopholes in existing export laws. Now, before we go, I have 2 immediate action items for your business strategy in 2026. Tip number 1, do not leave money on the table. Should the AGOA Extension Act pass the Senate, the renewal will be retroactive. That means that if you paid duties on eligible African imports after September 30th, 2025, you will be owed a refund, and we will keep you posted. And tip number 2, focus on the origin of your product, not just tariffs. As we head toward the July USMCA review, the United States is moving from simple trade facilitation to enhancing the origin verification to block components coming from other countries such as China and entering through Mexico to take advantage of the USMCA. So we encourage you to shift your mindset to strategic adaptation and look at your supply chain to make sure that you do align with the stricter enforcement when it comes to rules of origin. So there you have it. An upcoming USMCA review, a strategic renewal for Africa, and a link between trade, technology, and cybersecurity. And the rule book is still being rewritten in 2026. And stay tuned to GRIIT for the latest updates. See you next Tuesday on Trade on Tuesdays at 2, where we talk about international trade policy every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And we share 2 tips. And our 2-minute versions are now as YouTube shorts.